This week is your final chance to see the Mud Hens play in person as the final stretch comes to Toledo, and we are welcomed in now to the studio Matt Melzak from the Toledo Mud Hens. And Matt, 5 home games against St. Paul, and you need to pull out the schedules to make sure you're arriving at the ballpark at the right time this week.
You know what? I'll run them down for you real quick. It's 6:35 on Wednesday, 6:35 on Thursday, as we've been doing here since the calendar flipped into September, those 6:35 games during the week, then 7:05 on Friday, the 5:05 Saturday, just like we did a couple weeks ago, and then 1:05 on Sunday to wrap things up when we get into October baseball for the first time in Mud Hens history. But yes, an interesting series going against a very good St. Paul team that, you know, despite the fact that the Hens at the beginning of September swept St. Paul, they were close games. Just Toledo made the right plays at the right time to come away with the wins. We'll see if they're able to do that again this week.
It's not October yet, so we can't call him Mr. October, but Spencer Torkelson is certainly Mr. Late September. 3 home runs in the last 3 games. He now has 10 for the Mud Hens, 10 for the Mud Hens alone. He is approaching 30 on the season, showing why he was the #1 overall pick just a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and you look at his batting average in the month of September. Everyone's talking about, well, he's only hitting 242 or whatever it is, 240 right now. Well, yes, but he was hitting, when we got into September, only about $160. So there's been quite a turn. He's hitting near 300 in the month of September. He's doing it with a lot of power. High OPS number tells you he's getting on base a lot, and he is everything's really going either over the fences or darn near close to it, like he did on Sunday.
It's going to be a raging debate all winter long. Will Spencer Torkelson be back in Toledo in 2022, or he'll go to Detroit to start the season? It's going to be a very interesting conversation. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of factors, including what the Tigers do at some other positions and whether or not there is a spot for Torkelson to play every day in Detroit.
You know, that's an interesting thought. Jim Weber and I have talked about this a number of times over the last few weeks on the Mud Hens broadcast. This might be the most intriguing spring training for the Tigers in a long time because of the fact that you have Riley Green, you have Spencer Torkelson, you have Cody Clemens, you have Ryan Kreidler. You've got a lot of young players that are knocking on the door to be everyday guys at the big league level. Let them go to Toledo for a little while longer and see how they start the season. We've seen players do that over the years. A lot of people forget JD Martinez started his Tigers career with the Mud Hens. They sent him to Toledo to start, and he was fantastic for a couple of weeks, and we never saw him again in Toledo. So there's a precedent sometimes for guys that they like to start and see them get off to a season start where they're playing every day. If Spencer Torkelson isn't going to play every day, if Riley Green isn't going to play every day, then you could see those guys starting in Toledo and then be ready to come up to the major league level, and then see how the Tigers season starts to go in April and into May before they start making those decisions on whether those guys are ready to roll or not. But you know what? Precedent has been there with other teams. You have a great spring, you're coming north, and you're starting the season with us.
All right, thank you very much, Matt Melzak. You can catch them all week long on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the final games of the Mud Hen season.